Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Murders Draft from the channel. Let's just jump right in. And we opened a really funny pack. So in my last draft, I had a similar pick like this where it was like pick pack 2. I had Aurelia versus Ezrim. Now we got a card that's even better than Aurelia, Argus Cost, Spirit of Justice. Really phenomenal card. I don't know if you face this card. Comes down, makes the thing not block, and then kills it next turn, and then keeps threatening to do it again and again and again. So we're definitely going to take this one. Other notable cards in this pack, Reckless Detective, excellent, just premium 2-drop. You're going to want to take this really highly. You're going to want to kill it very readily when you see it in game. Combine Chrysalis. This is a cool one. I almost wish these cards weren't in the pack to be able to take this card, because this is a really sweet build around for like your blue-green kind of tokeny decks where you've got a lot of clues. Turning your clues into 4/4 flyers is kind of nice. And of course, there's Galvanize in there. But we're just going to take Agros and see where that leads us. Hopefully, I get to draft something other than red-white. But I don't know if that's going to be the case when we get past Sacred Ghost Buzz Crusher, which is like a solid card, not like a bomb, but definitely a good one. Also a Galvanize in the pack. Honestly, I think you could just take Galvanize over Buzz Crusher. Like, Buzz Crusher is good, and I am going to take it. But I wouldn't fault anybody for just taking the cheap removal spell after already starting with a 4-drop. But we'll take the good on-rate card and go from there. Other cards in this pack that are pretty good. Sudden Setback, fine. You know, this effect kind of varies from set to set. I think it's like it's average in this set, not great, not amazing. These two green cards, Sample Collector and Fanatical Strength, both cards I like. And I actually even like Persuasive Investigators, honestly. Like, you're not trying to do the poison them out thing generally, but in your Black Righty deck, 6 mana, 5/6 that comes with a clue, generally pretty good. But yeah, we'll just take the Buzz Crusher. All right, and then, yeah, we see an Inside Source, which is a great follow-up. Also, a lot of good cards in this pack, though. The green cards in this pack, I love all of them. Like, Eavesdropper and Get a Leg Up, I think are the best. I really actually want to highlight Get a Leg Up. This card's great. I think people might kind of just, like, pass it off as, like, oh, it's just a combat trick. But it's often 1 mana +4/+4, +5/+5. One of the really nice things you can do with this card, aside from just, you know, casting it on a Trampler or something, is combo it with the land, the Tunnel, that you can sacrifice to make something power 2 or greater, or sorry, 2 or less unblockable. So you do that first, then cast this and get in for 9 or something like that. Really strong card. And Greenbelt Radical, good too. But Inside Source, the best card in this pack, so we'll take that. All right, so it does get interesting here. We don't have just like an awesome red or white card to take. I think Mask Maker is pretty playable in decks with a lot of disguised creatures. A little more playable than I would have imagined. I don't love Gearband Orangutan, although I do like it as a sideboard card if you're playing best of 3. Sanctuary Wall, more of a defensive card. Sample Collector, like I mentioned, good. Same card here, Fanatical Strength. I don't mind Scene of the Crime as a fixing land if you want some fixing. This one is one of the better ones for sure. Also, Extract Confection. I like this card a lot too. I think I'm just going to take the Fanatical Strength in case we do move into like a green-white aggro deck. I think this is a little bit of a better card than Sample Collector. Like, just like it was in Ixalan, this card is just phenomenal for the green aggro decks. All right, look. soon. I warned about this in the last video I did, but you might be seeing a lot of red-white from me in the next few days until the format adjusts. Like, 5th pick Detective, this basically shouldn't happen. I can't really construct a pack where I think this is right for it to happen. Also a Dog Walker here. But, you know, we'll see. Maybe the draft goes in a weird direction. I do promise to upload some videos that are not just red-white, though. All right, and then we'll take an on-the-job here. Granite Witness, good too. But I really found in, especially my red-white decks, I'm a little bit cautious about Granite Witness and the Gadgeteer, right? The Is It one, where you do want to kind of weight your mana one way if you can in your aggro deck, so you're consistent, you know, heavy white or heavy red. And if you're a heavy red deck and you take Granite Witness early, well, it's not going to be that good because it's not that often that you can cast it for white or flip it up for white on turn 4. So just something to consider. And On the Job is just a great card in these decks. Okay, yeah, we got a Haunch. We got a Museum Night Watch. Both these cards pretty solid. Haunch helps me go wide. I think that Night Watch is a little bit of a better card. I've got one card that wants me to go wide. So it's not like I'm super... I guess this is an artifact for the Reckless Detective, right? You can, like, instead of paying 2 life, that's actually probably what pushes me over the edge. Instead of paying 2 life, or 2 mana to crack this and get the dogs, you can just attack the detective, draw a card, and instead of gaining 3 life, it almost turns it into a clue of sorts instead of a food. And then you still get the dogs too by paying 2 mana. So I do like that little synergy there. Okay, I'm gonna take Bite Down on Crime here. Like, Bite Down is a good removal spell. They've kind of fixed the green fight spell problem, I think, by making them mostly fights these days. I hope they continue that trend, because this is a good card. You know, the problem with the fight spells where you deal damage and your opponent deals damage back is they're so easy to blow out with combat tricks. I mean, this is still susceptible to getting gotten by a removal spell, of course, but taking out some of the risk is nice. Okay, here we'll take a Haza Vigilante. Yeah, that's a fine 5-drop. Fanatical Strength Wheels. Okay, so, you know, and then get a leg up and Eavesdropper Wheel. So that is something. As much as I was saying I like get a leg up, do I want to take it over a solid creature? I think I will still. Yeah, like, you know, we've got a lot of 4s. So I could see us going a lot of directions here. And Scene of the Crime Wheel, so that's actually kind of nice too. Base, I would prefer to be base white, just to kind of figure out where we're going. Because white is the deepest color, and I think you can pair it with green or red very nicely. So I'm just going to organize sort of like this. I guess this goes in the red pile. And we'll go from there. Okay, so there is a good white card in the pack with Museum of Night Watch. I could just take that, but Bloomkin is excellent. Just really a phenomenal green uncommon, one of the best ones. It's obviously better if you're heavy green, but even if you're like split down the middle, it's not so bad. And the cool thing, you know, just a little note on this card, it does say forest cards, right? Not forest, so you can get the dual lands with these, which is kind of sick. Connecting Dots, not a card I think is very good. So we'll just take the Bloomkin, at very least, maybe just to have a little bit of variety in our draft here. Oh man, yeah, okay, Neighborhood Guardian, that's a good one. So yeah, my strategy going, you know, this pack forward, there's also a Dog Walker, but Guardian is better, is kind of like I mentioned, just taking white cards as long as I can, because I make that my base, and then I just figure out, you know, what's more open, green or red. This is my general draft strategy for most formats, most sets, any draft I jump into, honestly. Just get deep into one color if you can, whatever the most open color is, but at the beginning of a set where people don't maybe know what the best colors are, it's often good to lean towards the best color, because that's going to be a little more open than the other ones, just by virtue of there being more good white cards than the other colors. So I'm really happy to, for example, just take a Market Watch Phantom here, even though Shock is a little bit better of a card. And worth noting, red, we got that Reckless Detective pretty late, and we got past the Buzz Crusher, but we really didn't see that much red in pack 1, and some green cards wheeled. So we might end up somewhere where we're like splashing Argus. You know, we do have this Scene of the Crime, and there's, you know, maybe a land or something wheeled to pick up a land. But can't turn out a good 2. Okay, now we do have to take a non-white card. I don't want a second on the job here. Maybe if this was pack 3, I was already going really wide. But I'll just take Shock. There's Drone Smith too. I think this card's fine. Better in like a blue-red deck where you actually have a use for the Thopter. You want to be able to sacrifice the Thopter for value. I don't think just the, you know, baseline of 2, 3 for 4 that comes with a Thopter each turn, pecks them in for 1 each turn is that great. Playable card. You can always play it, but Shock is great. Okay, so here, I'm just going to take this Escape Tunnel. Yeah, that's great for us. There is an Innocent Bystander. It's a solid 2-drop, but we're not doing too badly on 2-drops. And this allows us to play the Argus almost guaranteed, like Scene plus Tunnel plus the red source we're going to play, say if we are green-red. Means that, yeah, I'm just going to be able to play this card no matter where we end up. So that's a nice bit of flexibility. And, you know, even if we do end up in red-white, I'm just going to appreciate this card anyways. It's going to be, it's going to improve my mana base, which is always a good thing in Limited, where your mana base is really bad. Generally, the 9/8 is, it's what we have to deal with, and it's what we have to work with, but it's not ideal for sure. All right, so I could take another on the job here. I could take a Rift Burst Hillian, like nothing amazing here. There's Essence of Antiquity, which is kind of a cute card, but I think just worse than these other cards. I'm going to take the second on the job. Currently, my deck doesn't really want it, but we could end up with a more go wide stuff going forward. Okay, here's a Crowd Control Warden, which is not, you know, not an amazing card, but I'm happy to pick it up 7th pick here. All right, another Haza Vigilante, a Chases On, which if you saw my last video, you know how much I like this card. Also, Due Diligence. I like this card too, but more when you've got like Novice Inspectors, 1-drops, and a bunch of 2s, so that you can cast it on turn 3 and get it for a big hit. I think our deck currently is not really like that. I'm going to take another Haza Vigilante. Honestly, yeah, probably. I think this is going to be fine. Second copy, that's not that bad. All right, and the Night Watch wheel, so that's great. There's a Fanatical Strength too, but Night Watch pads out our creature count, and it's just good. All right, make your move. I will take that. It's a playable card. Yeah, just some end of the pack stuff, sure. Another on the job. All right, so like I mentioned, red was not open pack 1, and it wasn't really open pack 2 either. So we'll see where we go. We opened up a nice one here with Novice Inspector, nice warm fuzzy feeling, being able to take that. But I'm really, you know, the reason we are so incentivized to take a bunch of white cards, like I mentioned, is so that we can kind of just figure out what we do in pack 3 based on what's coming to us, right? I have the option to be green or white here, and I wouldn't have that option if I had taken, like, that shock on that pack. I could have taken a shock, but I took a white card, right? Flexibility is really a big deal. I think people sometimes kind of underrate that in draft. Maybe not even underrate it, but maybe kind of are unsure how to be flexible, and I think this is what I've been talking about. The best way to be flexible in draft. Just try to get deep into that one color. And another novice inspector. Love to see that. Yeah. There's a scapegoat here. Scapegoat's a fine one. Green belt. Good green card. But yeah, we'll just take the inspector. Makes the on the jobs better, right? Any number of 1-drops in your deck just makes this kind of card better. Okay, so yeah, let's put these red cards on the board. I think this deck is shaping up now to be, something that we can kind of plan around. I've kind of now swapped from the navigating mode here in pack 3 to the deck building mode, where I think we are going to be green-white base, splashing this Agris. So what do I want here? My creature count is not terrible. I've got 12 if you count the haunch. I could take a tipster. Sorry, let me organize by curve. I'm notoriously bad at organizing by curve as well. Yeah, let's just take a tipster. Tipster seems fine here. Good cheap card. Ooh, some goodies. Okay, so there's a makeshift binding, and I do think I'm going to take that. I'm a little bit low on interaction, so I will take that, one of the better ones. There's also a Glint Weaver. I love Glint Weaver, though not as much in like a green-white deck. Basically, every other green combination I look at like a little better. Green-white is an aggro deck, and this isn't like the worst card if you had to play it in your aggro deck, but it's a 7-mana card. You just prefer it to be a cheaper card. So yeah, we'll just take the binding here. Okay, so now we've got a pack where I don't really want anything. There's a Topiary Panther as another source for Agris, but it's not the best fixing source. I could take like a Galvanize or a Shock. I don't think I want to splash another card, though. Our fixing's not quite good enough for that. So I guess I could take a Reluctant Panther and put it in the deck and hope I don't have to play it. Ooh, there we go. Killer Among Us. Yeah. Love this one. Also Lightning Helix, also Galvanize. So red did open up a little bit in pack 3 here, which is just kind of a little bit hard to predict. Maybe I moved the red cards to the board too quickly, given that I was just talking about being flexible and all. All right, there's a Fuss Bother. Like, I could have taken the Shock there. Yeah, I think we ended up with just a few, just underplayables if we moved into red at this point, which I think is kind of what pushed me to move into the green space, because we kind of just have enough green cards. But it's pretty close. Okay, Dog Walker, 8th pick. Love to see it. Also, just a person of interest here. 8th pick. This is the card I was talking about yesterday in my draft video that I think people are not picking highly enough. I'm also glad that we're getting to actually display a deck that isn't just red-white. It's red-white adjacent, but something a little bit different. Now, Auspicious Arrival is a great pickup too, so we'll just take that one. Fanatical Strength number 3. I doubt I play it, but we'll see. All right, and then a random Essence of Antiquity. We are like slightly low on creatures, although I guess counting the Haunch and the Killer Among Us, not really. We have 16, so probably not gonna have to play some of the dorkier things I have on the board. Oh, also the Fuss Bother, that also counts. So yeah, we are not actually short on creatures. We're good. Okay, so for the build here, let's just organize things. I may not want double on the job. I might not want single on the job. Might want the first one, because the Haunch and we have 3 token makers, 4 with the inside source. So I think the first one's probably going to be good enough. The Panther, I don't have to play Panther, because I have 3 sources if you count Mountain, Escape Tunnel, Scene of the Crime. A 4th source is nice. Like, you're always going to want more sources if you can, but is this, the cost of playing a Topiary Panther, am I willing to accept that? Sort of, maybe. Like, I could see this being our 23rd card, basically. So let's see what the other cuts might be. All this stuff is good. I don't feel like I want to cut any. All these 2s are great. Crowd Control Warden could be one of them. It's definitely one of the lesser cards here. But the rest of the cards are really good looking. So basically, it's Crowd Control Warden or Topiary Panther. And I do actually think I'm probably going to keep the Panther. I just would like one more source, especially because I've got Dog Walker. Maybe being able to cast that early is something I want to do, and just being able to cast Agris a little more consistently at the cost of putting a slightly clunky card in my deck, I think is okay. So this is gonna be it. Oh, I do have one more cut to make, so let's just cut one of these Fanatical Strengths. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think this is gonna be the deck, and I think I'm gonna add a Forest as my last land here. It's kind of close because this mana base, like just my spells, do want I think another white source, but with Panther, being able to unlock a white source, that pushes me to having another forest. Also, makes the Bloomkin a little bit better. So yeah, let's just ship it like that. We'll see you in the games. Can we get a 3-man inspector in the opening hand? We have 2 of them. Oh, so unlucky. And we have this card and we can't cast it. All right. So we will keep this hand. Yeah, it's got a 2. It's got 2 2s. It's got most of our mana. Ooh, nice. Escape tunnel. All right, that is a very welcome draw here. All right, so let's just play this Tipster. We can slam this on turn 3. Turn 3 Aggress, turn 4 Killer Among Us. That's a pretty nice curve. Can't complain about that. Although, if the opponent just passes and leaves up mana, I will just play around a counterspell and play the Phantom most likely. Okay, sweet. Yeah, we'll just zoink, come down, suspect the Smuggler, and pass the turn. Yeah, make it in, because it's going to die anyways. And as Menace. I'm going to play another face down card. All right, well, that's... Ooh, wow. Wow, that's... It's quite the combo. I didn't mention this in deck building. We do have a nice little combo of Fanatical Strength plus Get a Leg Up. All right, so... We if we can get Argress to 10 power, we just win here. We can't do that this turn, right? Because this is going to put it to 5 and then to 7. I can't play... Oh, I guess I can play the Phantom first. That's really close. Yeah, we're just going to attack, exile this, and play Killer Among Us, because then we set up lethal very easily next turn, but that's kind of funny. All right, cool. Yep. Play Killer Among Us. Calling. I don't know what's strategically the best card to call, but I always call the Merfolk. I don't know. I like seeing the big swole Merfolk. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering about my opponent's rank, I had to restart the game at the beginning. Okay, they just scoop here. I had to restart the game at the beginning of this game because my arena was kind of not cooperating. And when you do that, your opponent's rank disappears. And you turn into a Johnny, if you haven't noticed that weird little quirk of Arena's coding. Every day, you encounter a new little quirk of Arena's spaghetti code that fascinates me. All right, this hand is a clunker. It's got 2 lands and a Marker Watch Phantom and a bunch of 5s. My deck is fairly low curve outside of these cards, so lands are good and most spells are good. I guess my Aggress is not a good draw, of course, but this is going to be a keepable hand. I'd be a little more inclined to be happy about this card on the draw, because you get to see the extra card. More likely to hit your land drops. All right, opponent does take a mulligan. And, maybe on turn 3, if we draw a land, we get to Fuss Bother, win a combat against a disguised creature or something. I guess I'd be on turn 4. Our opponent does nothing. We do hit the land, which is kind of sick, so we'll play the Haunch. And we will equip the Haunch. I wish there was a are you sure button for this Haunch, because more than once I have sacrificed it when I didn't mean to, when I meant to equip it. Alright, in for 4. And if we draw a land, I probably just sacrifice the Haunch here. Ooh, nothing. Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sacrifice the Haunch. That sets us up for this getting multiple triggers. Well, both of them. And just going super wide on them. Play a face down card. You got it. They have bite spell here. They do. Okay. Yeah, that is fine enough. Land would be fantastic here, but if not, we'll hopefully draw a spell we can cast. Oh yeah, there we go. That's a good one. So we'll get in. I'll just cycle this, by the way, if they don't block. Like, we're casting this thing this turn no matter what. Do you want to hit the land drop? Yes, this enables us to attack next turn, but so does hitting the land drop, so we can play our Vigilante. Or just Fuss Bother. Griffnaught Tracker. Alright, I like seeing that one. As in, I do not think the card is very good. we're just past the point of 4 mana 3/2 flyer being a passable card in limited. You gotta have your effect be something better than exiling something. Like, it's not actually unplayable, but again, I just would prefer not to play it. Okay, so I think I'm going to slam the Vigilante here first. It might be better to play Killer Among Us, but I think with the opponent being as low on life total as they are, I'm just going to want to pressure, keep the pressure on, so they feel maybe incentivized to trade off their face-down creature here. Yeah, or their tracker, which means that this face-down creature is really good. And here's like an example why, right? This thing having 2 toughness means that they were forced to trade off with my 2 power creature. Obviously, the game's gone in a way where I've been pressuring. They stumbled a little bit, but if this was just another 4-drop, it might not be the case, right? All right, they fight my thing, or I bite it. And yeah, here we will just slam, bother, set up our next draws. Binding and Fanatical Strength. Yeah, both are good. I guess we just keep... So if we keep the Strength, can't really win next turn. So I don't foresee myself casting Fanatical Strength next turn. So let's just put the Binding on top. I can see myself casting this a little more likely. I don't even know if I want to keep Strength, though. Like, how I'm trying to think of how would I lose this game. Like, if they had a no witnesses, a board wipe, I have an answer to anything that is going to stop attacks. I do think I keep... Oh, I ran out of time, but I was going to say, I still think I keep it. I think it's better than random card in my deck, but it is close. All right, another face down. Gardener. Ooh, let's see. Are they stuck on a color? What do they go get? Nope, just a green source. Full arch green source, mind you. I guess all of them are. All right, yeah, I'll just get in with our flyers here. Then play Killer Among Us. Again, call them Merfolk. If you play against me, I guess you'll know what I've called. Although, it's kind of funny with this card. The conceit of this card when you first read it, it's like, oh, it's this mini game. Like, what did they choose? But it just turns out you just attack with the one that you chose. I do think it's worth considering bluffing sometimes. Like, attacking with 2 things ain't that bad. But most of the time, you just attack with one of them. All right, and this should be lethal, right? I said I couldn't foresee myself casting this, but I didn't expect their turn 6 to be just flip this up, so yeah, we are good. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake here. No, I should have, well, no, I didn't, because it's Merfolk. I was gonna say, I gotta just make sure it's binding, but it didn't actually matter. I don't even need to cast this, they just have lethal. Okay, cool. So it did work, after me just going, oh, it doesn't matter what they play around. It does matter in this spot, where I attack with everything, and they're forced to figure out which one that I chose, so eating my own words just seconds later. All right, round 3 here, facing Tuxedo Rose, a player of culture. Okay, yeah, we will keep this hand. 2 go wide cards and are on the job. No 2-drop, but that's okay. Our deck isn't, like, insanely aggressive. Yes, I'd like to have a 2-drop, but we've got a bunch of good stuff as the game goes on. We're not the kind of aggro deck that just folds when you don't play a 2-on-2. Ooh, we drew a red source, too. And, of course, if we are being aggressed upon, this inside source catches us up. Oh, nice. They don't have a turn 2 play. All right, I'd like to see that. Yeah, we'll just cast our inside source. I'm going to cast our own inside source. How's the Vigilante? Okay, so... yeah, I think we're just going to take the turn to play our tap land here. No attacks. We don't really want to make trades. And I don't think they... if I attack with both, I don't think they block. Like, if they did, we could on the job and really get them. But I imagine they're not looking to make these trades early on. And we are presumably more set up for the late game than they are. So we'll just chill here. And when I say the late game, I mean like turn 6, Okay, this could be good for us. We're going to line up this on this and this on this. This looks like an on the job. And, well, if it is on the job, we get to just do this, and then we can win the combat with strength. So, yeah, I like that. Yep. Kind of surprised they cast that this early. All right, now we go. How's the Vigilante? Yep, another go wide payoff here. Or go wide enabler, I suppose, with the haunch. Makeshift binding, sure. Yeah, vengeful tracker. Ooh, dealing me 2 damage when I cast this haunch. Huh, tunnel. Tap land being a little bit awkward here. Okay, so play haunch and crack it is probably what we just do this turn. Yeah, we still can. Yeah, we have a untapped creature. Just means we can't stack, which is fine. I'm looking to block this turn anyways. Okay. So this probably is... The chase is on. It could be auspicious arrival as well. I think I play into it. I think I'm okay with that. So we block this one. It's the highest power. Yep, auspicious arrival. Although I suppose if I block inside source, it would be playing around arrival to some degree. Okay, so yep, sack this. Ouch. Yeah, another inside source. All right, we are under a bit of pressure. Like, we also have the potential to just race them back with this on the job and fuss bother. All right, draw another land. Let's cast bother. Fanatical strength. All right, math time. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's not exactly lethal with just on the job plus pump spell. Pump spell allows me to like if they have another trick, allows me to win a combat somewhere. Am I going to be... They're going to be attacking all this turn, I imagine. Or maybe pumping the detective. Probably both detectives. Okay, yeah, I think we don't want the pump spell. I think we have better cards in the deck in this spot. Pass turn. Oh, jeez. So this is probably another on the job because I mentioned on turn 4, I was like, oh, I'm surprised they wanted to cast that this early. Like, that kind of surprises me. So the one logical conclusion is just be they have another one, which I do think that's what's happening here. So I'll just block like this. Trades will happen. And we take a lot of damage. You know, it's not great. And the thing is, they're not even really forced to cast it here because they still win this combat. Or they still, you know, just trade 1 for 1 here. I think they probably will cast it this turn. If I don't draw a spell, I can on the job use this to trade up. And we're taking 3, 7. Yeah, it's a lot of damage this turn. Okay, I do think I have to block, but it's a pretty bad spot to be in. Oh, fuss. Okay, so actually similar, but not as bad. It's good I double blocked like this. All right, we have some good draws. We have some ways out of this. Draw our Argus, one of our expensive cards. Inspector's a pretty good one. Oh, they're hovering. They're like, I want to kill that. Ouchie. Yeah. And land. Okay, so probably not winning this one. Like, we can on the job here to trade in combat. Okay, now, yeah, it's just lethal if you put it on the Inspector. All right, good game, opponent. Good game. All right, another round here with a, yep, definitely a passable hand. Again, would prefer a 2, but also only have white mana, but only have white cards, and we have a few ways to draw some cards, see some more cards in our deck to find that mana. Another turn 1 Inspector. Wonder if this is going to turn out like the last game. Yeah. It is very funny that the person who plays turn 1 Inspector seems to be advantaged most of the time. It's pretty peculiar. Like, even, you know, both games, this one and the last one, the opponent just went like Inspector, crack it on turn 2, and usually it's like, okay, that's, you know, I'm glad that they didn't affect the board on turn 2, but just, you know, casting this and drawing a card is still great. Okay, so now we, let's see, I think we just attack and crack the clue. Are they going to block. I think it's probably unlikely. And then we just crack this haunch instead. Willing to attack here. Okay. Well, I think I'm okay with them using a trick here. Because then I get to play the Vigilante. Stabilize the board. So if they want to use a shock, use a trick here, that's totally fine. They also might just be attacking and are fine with trading off Inspector for a 1/1. They also might not have seen that I could have done that, so who knows? It is unclear. Sanitation Automaton. All right, fine little guy, the little Roomba. All right, let's go Vigilante. And I think I'm going to put it on this and just attack in like this. So this, even if they have a removal spell for the Vigilante, this little pupper can hold back the Automaton. Dog Walker, sure. Case, yeah, that's a good one. So I'm glad I held back the dog. Although they will now they can turn the case on. Okay. Not willing to get in with the Dog Walker. Yep. Okay, our own Dog Walker is a pretty good draw. So let's just go 1, 2, 3. Play this face down, and I do think we're probably supposed to just chill this turn. I don't think racing them against this makes much sense. Ugh. Well, yeah, they draw this for 5 here, and then they draw a card. If we can draw a Makeshift Binding, like if we can win one of these combats and then draw a Makeshift Binding, we have a chance. Okay, so let's go here. And let's see, this is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think I probably have to trade off this thing. And I guess I want the Dog Walker to survive instead. Although if I want the Dog Walker to survive and want to block this, then I have to cast Fanatical Strength and not Arrival, and then I can't see another card. So that's actually kind of a tough decision. I guess I could go here and trade. Yeah, that's fine enough. Here and eat. And then we take 5, 6, 7, 11. I think 11's probably too much because we just die from 1 hit from Aurelia. Oh, we're going to die pretty much to anything anyway. So I think we're just going to hope to draw Makeshift Binding this turn. Yeah, I think that's the best bet. Okay. We draw Inside Source, that ain't it. And we crack. Big draw. No, not it. All right, GG's. I did say I was happy not to draft red-white once again, but we are getting the same experience from the opponents bashing us in every game. Opponent, all I ask is you don't start on planes. Or a Novice Inspector. I guess the planes is a prerequisite for the Novice Inspector, but... All right, we have our own here. Love to see that. Yep. And a Makeshift Binding. Okay, seems like they either have a shock or a... yeah, we'll crack this. A shock or a +2/+0 when the thing dies. You make it 2/2. I think, because I think they had to stop on turn 1. Oh, nothing. Oh, okay, something. All right, there's going to shock my Inspector, so they don't have to discard. I think that's what's going on here. And this might be a quick game. We'll see. Maybe the opponent has a way to come back. And if they're willing to keep a hand that doesn't do anything, that must be a pretty good hand. Yeah, like Steam Core Scholar. That makes sense to me. Really good card. All right, let's play... I'll attack. I think it's unlikely they block. And then we just play Killer. And they're up a card, but we're up a lot of tempo, and we've got interaction spells to press damage. If they could cast Ill-Timed Explosion, the field wipe, that would be really good. Okay. Ooh, wow. What a draw. Yeah, that was great. Okay, so this is like this. Well, actually now, it's unfortunately I only have a white because this wins the combat here. I guess I'll win the combat here too. We lose our dog walker. I could also fuss bother instead, or fuss specifically. Okay, yeah, we'll just do this. Trade happens. Am I happy with this? If I had something to do other than just flip up this dog walker, yes, for sure. But I could just flip up the dog walker and pass. Then I've got, yeah, a bunch of, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It's a little inefficient on the mana here, but next turn we're gonna have a really good on the job turn, especially if we can draw a land to go bite down first. All right, Gadget Tech. Fanatical Strength, also very, very good. All right, so let's collect some evidence. Pump you. Guess I do exactly 6. We attack. We cast our Strength and cast our Inspector. Sweet. All right, yeah, it's kind of wrath or bust here for the opponent. And then we're still in a pretty good spot because then we just go bother on the job. Projector Inspector. Don't think that's going to do it. Okay. Yeah, that's not too bad, but yeah, not good enough. Close, though. Yeah, I think if the opponent had hit their third land, this would be a much closer game. But we'd still probably been in a pretty good spot. All right, GG's. Mythic 61. This hand. This hand's great if we can draw a white source. Actually, it's not even great. It's just good. Yeah, I think I'm going to mulligan this one. All right, this is a acceptable hand. Putting back probably a forest here. We're at the mountain turn 1. A little better than playing the Haunch. Haunch doesn't do anything right now. Ooh, Steam the Crime. Yeah, still think well, I just said didn't do anything, then I went to play it. So I think I probably should have played Scene of the Crime. It's not going to punish us too much. Yeah, it doesn't punish us here. And then I probably just sack this on turn 4 by tapping it with the scene. Actually, I can't do that because I have to tap this to activate it. So never mind. Alley Assailants. All right, creature. Ask, receive. Wrong thing though. All right, pass turn. Yeah, Mana's punishing me a little bit here, as is mulliganing. Like, just here's a cost of splashing, right? Like, our splash is pretty sound, but even still, like, our, it's making our turns worse here. Like, activating Haunch would have been good. We did draw our splash card, so I think I should play Vigilante first, because we haven't presented any threats. Well, number one, it's more mana efficient, but we also haven't presented any threats, so I assume they're going to have a removal spell or 2 in hand. All right, so I could take this. I think I'm probably supposed to, both so I can have double white here and so that we don't get gotten by, yeah, sure, Auspicious Arrival. On the job's obviously not great for us either, but okay, we drew another white source. That's not bad. So I can play this and crack the Haunch if I need to / want to. I could just crack the Haunch and keep up Arrival. Yeah, that's a little bit better. These games have been pretty quick, and pretty similar in how they've played. I do look forward to next week when these white aggro decks don't come together as easily. Extract Confession. All right, yep. There goes my Vigilante. Okay, so crack this. And we're going to block this Assailant here. Oh, I can't even... Oh, did I auto-tap wrong? I did. Nuts. I can't now. Auspicious Arrival. Okay, well, this is much worse, too. So now we just double block the Gorehound and hope they don't have anything. Okay. Yeah, it would have been better, obviously, if I could have killed one of these things. And nothing. Okay, Insight Source is a great draw. Yeah, definitely like that for us. Mm-hmm. A dual leech. Gets Death Touch. Okay. Okay, this is working out. So we go Trump here. Block here. Oh, sorry, we don't win the combat because Death Touch. Okay, so instead we could just do this and then Auspicious Arrival. Yeah, let's do that. All right, we're hanging on here. Would have been a better spot if I could have done that last turn. Oh, that was a great draw too. So we're in a predicament because, you know, we're at 1. Black has a little bit of drain with, you know, Assailant and any flyer, and there's the uncommon, the Blackwood uncommon that drains. So I don't think we have any life gain either. We have Makeshift Binding. That's one little thing. All right, Seasoned Consultant. Yeah, that is yeah, they are getting in there. All right, so we're gonna go like this and jump. Oh, and they have a trick now? Yeah, all right. Well, Killer Among Us stabilized us, but not good enough. All right, so I don't know how this game would have gone if we had cracked the Haunt with the right mana, but it would have gone slightly better. All right, well, GG's. All right, well, final look at the deck. Like, it was a good deck, definitely. Like I mentioned in the games, the Splash, even though it is sound, like structurally sound, the games are pretty short, so sometimes it does punish you. We needed, you know, aside from the auto tapping kind of getting us, which is my fault. The Scene of the Crime did punish us once in a while from either being a tap land or not having the perfect man that we needed at the time. Didn't have a thing to tap, but the rest of the deck, you know, works out well. Like everything looks good here. But yeah, just our opponents were on similarly good decks and smashed us a little bit better than we can smash them. So hope you enjoyed this. I am planning to post all my drafts here, even the ones that don't go as well like this one. So hope you enjoy, and yeah, we'll see you next time.